Redline Radio LLC is proud to partner with Growing Wings Adult Services for the creation of our brand new state-of-the-art production studio. Growing Wings Adult Services has been assisting adults with disabilities in the Northeast Ohio area for the past 5 years. For more information on how Lisa and the team at Growing Wings can assist your family, you can contact Lisa at 234-334-7547 today. Detroit Auto Parts is the official parts store of Redline Radio LLC. They have 2 convenient locations on the east side. You can call 216-531-7373, or on the west side, call 216-398-7373. Mention Redline Radio and receive 10% off your purchase. It's the official home and auto parts store of Redline Radio LLC. If you need any custom t-shirts, banners, stickers, anything like that made, then you reach out to Incredible Keepsakes. As Diane always says, cherished moments are made to last forever. You can reach Incredible Keepsakes at 440-242-9648 or check out their websites at incrediblekeepsakes.com. And don't forget to mention that Redline Radio sent you. For all of our programming information, you can check us out on all social media platforms. You can listen to all of our great programming and live 24-hour music on the Redline Radio LLC app. You can find it on the Google Play Store, but you can also check us out at redlineradiolllc.com, where we are always live.
This is really gross, but dirty trash cans can pose a serious health risk to you and your family. The pungent smell can attract rats and flies, not to mention maggots, both of which can contain dangerous diseases transferable to humans. Your dirty trash can is susceptible to harboring dangerous bacteria. Contact Brandon at Fitz Trash Bin Cleaning today at 440-752-1533 or find them on Facebook. Veteran owned and operated and eco-friendly. Again, call Brandon at 440-752-1533.
Cleveland! This is for you!
Talking about balls.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Talking About Balls. I am Justin George, joined as always by Kyle Price and Tim Buck2. What's going on, fellas?
Not much, buddy. It's been a long 2 weeks. I feel like so much has happened. I've missed the camaraderie of our going back and forth every week.
Yeah, surprisingly, not a lot's happened in the world of sports, though. That's the funny thing, is like trying to come up with the last couple of weeks of episodes. It's kind of like redundant. It's the same thing. It's Deshaun Watson. What's up, Dave? Especially local stuff. It's the Guardians are hot for a week, cold for a week. A couple injuries here and there. No news, obviously, for the Cavs right now. You have the draft next week, which I'm not going to say I don't care, but I haven't done a ton of research, so I'm not going to sit here and mock it. At the 14th pick, it's too hard for, I'm not going to mock the 14th pick. We talked about it a couple of weeks ago. That's the best I can give you guys. We'll talk a little bit about it as the episode goes on. But again, with the Browns, really no news is happening right now that's relevant. You're getting your Deshaun Watson stuff every day shoved down your throat from national pundits. You're getting just typical shit. It's nothing new. It's nothing exciting. I don't know. That's just me.
It's mandatory OTAs, baby. We got a lot of Brown stuff going on right now. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I mean, camp started. They went to the Hall of Fame today. No injuries. I mean, that's really the only thing you want to report at this stage is everybody stay healthy.
Yeah, Dave, I feel naked. I was looking in the camera, no hat. It's weird to me. But I had my hair did today. I had some meetings at work, so I didn't want to throw a hat over it, so we're okay. I look good. Fuck off.
I do agree with Dave bringing up Minka Fitzpatrick is now the highest paid safety in football. Steelers gave him a new contract today. And why? I mean, has he done anything? They traded for him, gave up first-round pick, which they typically don't do. He joined them only to help them get eliminated in the first round every year they make the playoffs. Their defense is okay. He's not the focal point of that. That's TJ Watt specifically. And, I mean, why make him the highest paid guy? Doesn't make any sense to me. But when you have a rookie quarterback coming in, you don't have a high-paid quarterback taking up a lot of your payroll, you can do that. You can pay other guys. So more power to him for doing it. I just doesn't make sense to me. But I'm happy because I hate the Steelers.
It's a lot of guaranteed money for a safety.
Could that possibly be your next punishment for a bet? Assuming you're going to lose, more than likely, you have to shave your head, apparently, according to everybody.
Do you want my wife mad at you, too? Because that's not going to happen.
She won't let you shave your head?
Hell no.
Does she curse God every night for doing it naturally?
It's the slowest receding hairline ever. I've had this same receding hairline since high school. So I'm not too concerned about it. I've got another 10 years on the belt here. So it's okay. And I know Dave's not talking about hair right now.
Wishful thinking. Ladies and gentlemen, while we get into it here, though, I just wanted to show you guys something. This is a certificate for another victory for Talking About Balls, most popular show. No, this isn't copied from last month. This is brand spanking new, left on the desk today.
What?
We are back-to-back champs.
Back-to-back?
Just like United States in World Wars. Back-to-back champs. We don't lose.
I thought we were losing for sure.
Honestly, I did too, because we did take a couple of weeks off. We switched to bi-weekly for the month of May, so I thought, no question, we're not going to win. If we come close, I'm happy for it. And lo and behold, the results came in, and we got number one show. We were pretty shocked, honestly. Kyle and I were both texting holy shit.
Listen, Red Line, I'm just throwing it out there. The rest of the show's out there. We love and respect you. But if you want us to go to one day a month, we can. I mean, we'll gladly try it if you want us to. But
yeah, eventually we're going to have to do one show a year, and that's the only way we can.
We'll do 1 hour a month, and we'll see if you guys can compete. I mean, it's up to you guys. It's fine. We'll see what happens.
100 votes. A win's a win, Lee. A win is a win. That's all that matters when you're talking about balls.
Win is a win. And that's doing it
W.
twice a month.
Yeah. I mean, I have decided. You're hearing it here first. I don't think I've told anybody else. I think the first week of September, we will be going weekly for Talking About Balls. The way it adds up perfectly, I believe it's September 7th, the Wednesday night, would be our first episode in September. The season starts the next night on Thursday Night Football. We'll do our picks. We'll get right into the season. But up until then, I think we're going to do bi-weekly.
However, I have a proposition I'm going to throw out right now. When it comes to counting votes for views, once Steel Renegades kicks in, I'm going to go ahead and vote Timbuktu needs to count those votes and views because I can't have any bias when it comes to counting views.
We got Donald Trump's presidency going on right now.
I don't need 1 o'clock in the morning these views to be flowing in to 3,000. So I'm gonna go ahead and put Timbuktu on the bandwagon of voting. I think Tim's an honest Abe over there. I think he'll count directly for us. So. Yeah, sorry, Dave and Lee. We're putting our 2 cents into this.
I just assume that Lee has multiple devices and he just plays Renegades on a loop continuously for weeks at a time to get views up. Which, hey, not a bad idea. Every number tallies.
But hey, you know what? Aside from that, man, 3 years, man.
Yeah, 3-year anniversary.
Talking about balls.
It has been a long process. It's been fun. It's gotten us here, and we're happy.
And like you mentioned the other day in Texas, we've come a long way. So much has changed.
Honestly, we started as a threesome in a basement.
Kinky.
And Renegades. Look at that. We got shit talking in the chat about the opposing shows. I like it.
Go Renegades. I like that.
I like it. But Talking About Balls started off with 3 guys. Some what's the word I'm looking for?
Creative differences?
Creative differences, I guess is the best way to put it. I was trying to think of the right thing to say there.
You
didn't like your balls?
I'm going politically correct tonight. We're going politically correct tonight.
I think there was too much masculinity on the show, Tim. Too much balls. But yeah, so we had 3 guys. We started off in my basement with the podcast. We've just graduated, and here we are. I mean, it's taken over Redline, especially. We've been here for a few months, and now we've won. As long as they've been doing awards, we've gotten both best shows. So I'm happy with those.
What's the next
numbers.
award we can win? I'm just curious. Name it.
I mean, I truly thought I was hoping for last month we would get top show at Studio 2. I thought somebody else will get best show. If we get top show at Studio 2, I'll take it. It's a new award. Lo and behold, we get them all.
It's okay. We're here to have fun, right? Just a good time.
I'm not mad about it at all. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, I think Renegade's best show ever was the
show that they had us
the
on.
one that we came on in back in January.
Weird how that works, right?
We are people want to watch us. We bring the volume and we bring the audience, and we're happy to do it.
It's the perfect faces and the pristine attitudes we bring to the table.
I think it's honesty. Honesty is the best policy.
Bluntly honest.
I will talk as much shit as needed. I don't care. I'm usually right with my opinions. I'm very stubborn, and I think that rubs people the wrong way, but to an extent where they want to listen because they just want to listen and get mad, which I'm okay with.
What's the next thing they're going to say? That's what it is.
Yeah, it's one of those, like, I've gotten into so many arguments talking sports with people. I spent most of last offseason and most of last season talking about how bad Baker was with Browns fans, and, I just argued till I was blue in the face, and eventually people were like, you think you know so much about football? And I'm like, I do. Tell me when I'm wrong. And the next thing you know, I won, or I was right because Deshaun Watson got traded here. Baker's gone. I was right. I could have gone back and rubbed it in everyone's face. I didn't. I'm humble. I just brag about it here on the show for everybody to listen to. It's a lot easier that way. But yeah, I think that's what people want to listen for, and they come to the show for. It's the honesty. It's I don't give a fuck. I'll die on any hill. I've got some strong takes coming up tonight about people I think that suck that are probably going to be in the Hall of Fame in their respective sport, and I'm okay with that. Because, again, I'm okay with dying on hills. And listen to the Renegade boys are full of it today. They're loving it. One of the lowest,
I feel like we hit a nerve.
Yeah, we definitely did.
That's okay. It's okay.
It's all right.
Some of us can handle it. It's others.
That's what happens. You guys got to swing high when you're swinging at the top, because that's where we're at right now, boys. Hard to see you down there. But let's get right into it. We are a sports show, so we're going to talk sports. And first and foremost, the NBA Finals are about to wrap up.
No.
And
they still got another, hopefully, at least another week in there.
For those of you that follow the show on a regular basis, some of us picked a team to win in Game 6. My team can actually do that tomorrow to get that bonus point. Somebody else's team, not so much.
No.
That, my friends, would be the Golden State Warriors. I, of course, picked the Warriors to win in 6. It's looking more and more like they will be winning in 6. And again, knock on wood. I'm not here to jinx myself, but it's looking a little bit like I'm going to win another bet, and then Kyle will be getting punished.
Boston's choked away a lot of these games, though. They come out hot. They come out. Their defense is there. They're doing what they have to do to slow down Steph and Clay. But then, gets to the third quarter, they're hot. The fourth quarter, they just fucking choke it away.
That's what Golden State does. As a guy that we played against them for 4 consecutive years in the finals, I know this team like the back of my hand. I know they're a great team. They're hard to stop.
Yeah.
What they do is they play the slow game in the first half. The second half, they just outgun you.
Yeah.
You can't keep up offensively. You just cannot do that. And the scary part for, if I'm the Celtics, I'm terrified because Andrew Wiggins was the MVP in Game 5.
Who's that guy? Who did he play? Who did he get drafted by?
By the Cavs.
Oh, the Cavs.
Got traded, bounced around a little bit, hasn't really lived up to the number 1 overall pick hype, but he had a stellar Game 5.
But he's found his home in Golden State, though.
He carried the team because Steph Curry broke like a 200-something game record streak of consecutive games with a three-pointer made. He shot 0 for 9, I think it was, from the three-point line, and they still won by 10. So if I'm the Celtics, I'm terrified. How do you come back with a positive, upbeat attitude that you can beat this team when their best player the best three-point shooter in NBA history, couldn't hit 1 3,
and you still lost
by 10. It wasn't like it was a 1-point game. It was kind of a blowout. The game wasn't close in the final 10 minutes or so.
Plus, you got Game 6 Clay coming up, and Clay Thompson in Game 6 is pretty notorious for just flipping the switch and going pretty heavy.
It's very possible. You need me to scoot, Tim? Gotcha. No worries. Yeah, so you got Game 6 Clay. Now, that's somebody that I want to talk about. Is Clay Thompson a shell of his former self?
A little bit more.
A little more? No. Is he done? He is not the same guy that we're used to seeing as a Cavs fan. I know he got hurt in the 2019 finals, I think it was, against Toronto, whoever it was.
Well, that's the last time he played was 2019, because I feel like the last 2 seasons he's had injuries, he couldn't do anything.
He just came back this year for the first time, and it's been tough. He does not look like himself. He is no longer the great player that he was. He used to be dominant on defense, dominant on offense. Now he's struggling to find a shot. He can't keep up speed-wise defensively. Not good for the Warriors going forward, but good for them in this series because they're matched up against a good team in Boston, where a good team is in. They match up well with Boston because Boston's young. Boston has a superstar in Jason Tatum, and then good players around him with Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart, Al Horford's having a very good playoff run here. I saw a thing the other day, Dave. I'm not sure if it's accurate or not. Fake Clay is banned from the arena because he snuck past security. At least he's claiming he is a he's a YouTuber, and he dresses up like Klay Thompson. Apparently, he claims he snuck into the arena, got past security, shot on the court for about 10 minutes before they kicked him out and banned him from the arena.
No, it was true. It was on the radio today. Yeah.
Okay, because I saw the story, but a lot of people in the story said they haven't been able to reach out to the Warriors.
Yeah, no, he was
for
there.
comment.
He shot 15 minutes on the court before people realized it wasn't him.
And they're verifying this story?
Yes,
okay.
yeah, it was on the radio today.
Because what I saw was that that's his story, but they haven't been able to get that verified.
Yeah, they had people on the court, people worked in an arena noticing it was someone shooting, and then he can back it up.
Yeah.
But that's hilarious, though. But I honestly,
he might be better suited for them right now than real Klay Thompson, because Klay Thompson's
I saw
ghost.
you know the meme where the guy and the girl are walking, the guy turns around and looks at the other girl walking by.
Yeah, and it says you put something good on the right, but something better on the left.
So they actually had a side by side video or a picture of that meme plus, and then the next one it was Steph and it was Klay in the walking together, and then Brandon Poole or whatever standing behind, and Klay's looking at Poole. That's the meme. It stands up or whatever. It's like.
I mean, that makes sense because Klay Thompson's not the one hitting the shots anymore.
No, Poole's on a roll though. I mean, he's
Wiggins though is for me. I think it's funny that Wiggins is going to be the guy that might win the Finals MVP, and I think that would be hilarious if Steph Curry again does not get a Finals MVP.
Right.
Because that always seems to be the case. And I'm not knocking the Warriors to sound, just because I'm a Cavs fan, I'm knocking them because this is just my personal thoughts. You look at the year they won, where Andre Iguodala was the Finals MVP, the first time to beat the Cavs.
Yep.
We didn't have Kevin Love. We didn't have Kyrie Irving. Everybody knows the story. Andre Iguodala played out of his fucking mind, helped them win a championship. No MVP for Curry, no MVP for Thompson. It went to Andre Iguodala, which everybody's like, how the fuck does that happen? On that team, how does Iguodala, probably their fifth best player, get that award? But he did it. And then years following, it's Durant and Durant. So to me, that shows you that team is all about the role player that can step up for them. Klay can't do it. Steph doesn't do it. Draymond, of course, doesn't do it, because that's where my hot take is. Draymond Green is the most overrated fucking player in NBA history, and I am dying on that hill. That dude sucks ass. If he was drafted by any other team, for those of you that don't know, he's a second-round pick out of Michigan State. If he was drafted by any other team, there's no question in my mind he'd be out of the NBA right now. There is no way he makes the team because he doesn't have that supporting cast.
All right, so
he wouldn't have made it.
I'll take the other side of the equation here. So you hate Draymond Green. I don't like Draymond Green, but I think Draymond Green is like a needed piece in every drama-filled basketball game. Like he's the bad guy. I mean, he's just it's funny to watch him. Like the fact that the entire arena for Boston was "fuck you, Draymond."
Oh yeah, he gets under people's skin.
I love that about this guy. Like I don't like Draymond. I think he's an okay basketball player, but you know what I can't wait for is when he retires from basketball and when he takes on that spectrum of like a Charles Barkley-esque type of announcer. I think it's going to be much must-watch TV for him. Because I remember watching an interview they did. Draymond was on the court. It was before I think the Western Conference Finals. He was on the court doing warm-ups and he was in his ear doing an interview with the TNT boys. And him and Charles going back and forth talking shit, just TV politically correct shit, was the best 15 minutes of TV ever because of how much shit they were talking to each other.
Yeah, I mean it's weird to me to see players do this kind of shit where they're planning for their post-sport career, where Draymond Green easily wants to go into some sort of...
Can't hate on it, though. It's a good career path.
No, it is, but he's the kind of guy that just everybody else gives such politically correct,
but he's also that
boring answers. So he just tells you things that you don't normally hear. Like Steph or Klay are going to come out and say, oh yeah, the team we played was great. The teammates stepped up. Everybody did this. Draymond's going to say something where you go, oh wow, he said this guy can't guard me, and it's like front page news. It's a gimmick. It's an act.
But
I mean,
basketball...
he's like a WWE guy. He is a heel. I get it. I respect that part of his game. But on the court, he's a joke.
He does what he has to, though. I mean, he's a body. He can get down and bruise with some people. He gets the rebounds. He's not
he's a cheap shot artist.
I get it.
Very
he
dirty.
Likes to kick to the balls play. Of
he's
course.
Very dirty. The other day, I mean, he scored 0 points in a finals game.
Sure.
That's embarrassing.
Yeah, I get it.
That's a guy that people are saying is going to be a solid, no questions asked.
Green
Hall
looks
of
like
Famer.
Donkey from Shrek. The guy's puke.
He really he's
man.
terrible.
That's a hot take. I like that.
He's just garbage. I hate Draymond Green with a passion.
Yeah.
I just think he's overrated again. I think if any other team would have drafted him, he
Yep.
wouldn't be in the NFL. Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
He wouldn't be in the NBA this long. There's no way. Because his style of play is just, it's because of the guys around him.
In Cleveland, I don't think it's a hot take, but it's a good take, though. I like that.
I mean, to say that you think Draymond Green, sucks or is overrated, I think he's fucking garbage.
Yeah.
I think he's the most overrated of all time, and I hate him. So fuck them. I hate that they're probably going to win a championship tomorrow, but
they're not going to.
I win a bet, so it is what it is. I'll take that little win right there. Golden State in 6, just as I predicted. Can't believe I got the game down, too, almost.
Calm the fuck down. The game has to happen first.
I'm pretty confident. Pretty confident, if I'm being honest.
I might not show up to the next recording because I look like getting zapped.
I know where you live. I got a camera. It's all good. Moving on, talking about NBA again. This is something that I don't have a picture for or anything like that. The NBA draft is next Thursday, so our next episode won't be for another 2 weeks. So, again, I'm not going to go into too much detail. The Cavaliers, I think, are looking for a wing if they keep the pick. I saw somebody earlier say Sexton for Wiggins, make that trade. I don't know if that would work out financially. I'm not sure what Andrew Wiggins' contract is on it because you're going to have to sign Colin Sexton because he's a free agent. So,
yeah, and that's the debate right now, too, is like, what's Colin Sexton worth to the Cavs?
you'd have to do a sign and trade with Golden State, I think, because I'm not sure. I don't know Andrew Wiggins' contract off the top of my head, honestly. I don't know if he's got 1 year with Golden State, whatever it is. But a Sexton for Wiggins trade
requires
would be,
a multiple-year contract.
yeah, Sexton's going to want an extension. So you need a team that's got a lot of cap space, that's willing to take him on long term. And I don't know if Sexton would really fit in with the Warriors.
No,
He's a point guard by trade.
I mean, unless
You
you're
have
planning
Steph
a push,
Curry.
unless you're pushing out Clay,
Yeah,
and
which-
trying to bring it's a small backcourt though.
They're not doing that with Colin Sexton. He
Yeah.
doesn't fit that team.
And they got Jordan Poole. Like, there's no reason to really bring him in.
Yeah,
Not for-
I don't see that. Unless, again, I don't know Wiggins' contract. Maybe a sign and trade if he's a free agent. He goes somewhere else. I honestly don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But I don't know if the Cavs are going to make that move. Honestly, I don't think Wiggins would want to come to Cleveland because
Right.
of the history. He was drafted here. I get it. He was traded for Kevin Love, and it ended up winning us a championship, so he shouldn't be bitter about it. He should understand that it was a professional business move. That's
and
just
he
what you
hasn't
have
had
to
a
do.
bad career. It just
No,
hasn't
he
lived up to what
he hasn't been a
his
number one
draft
overall
stack.
pick. He's been an okay role player. Nothing wrong with that at all. We'll see what happens. But the Cavs again, I think they're looking for a some sort of wing player. Looking for a guy that's like 6'6" to 6'9". You can play the 3, you can play the 2. Good defense. You need a 3-point shooter. That's got to be our number one need, in my opinion. Plenty of guys to talk about. There's a kid from Ohio State. There's some foreign kids. The kid Johnny Davis out of Wisconsin. There's lots of stuff. Yeah, we're going to talk U.S. Open and is that golf or is that tennis? I honestly don't know.
Definitely golf.
Okay, yeah, they're all the same to me. Yeah, we're going to talk live. Is that how you pronounce it? Live, live?
LIV, yeah.
Golf, trying to
Saudi Arabia.
be controversial to get in the news. How desperate.
It is kind of controversial, to be honest.
It was for like an hour.
I mean, the fact that you've been not okay. We'll talk golf for 1 second. The fact that you've banned, I think, 10 or 14 players from the PGA, and the even more hilarious fact is that all of those players are exempt and they can play in the majors.
Yeah.
Which the U.S. Open's a major. So now you have the storyline going into this weekend is Phil Mickelson playing in the U.S. Open. However, he's banned from playing in PG events. But they're all playing together this weekend. That's made for TV drama right there. That he can't play with the rest of these guys any other time of the year, but the whatever majors for the year he can jump into. It's kind of drama. It's kind of interesting.
Yes and no. I mean, it's like basically golf has Rob Manfred as their disciplinary team from Major League Baseball, and he doesn't know what the fuck he's doing, and that's the biggest joke to say that. Dave gives us Wiggins' contract, so there it is. So basically, we need to match that contract. So we need to get $33 million worth of players traded to Golden State, and they would want to have to take Colin Sexton, which, again, in theory, would be nice to have Andrew Wiggins in the Cavaliers, but I don't think Sexton fits the Warriors. So, unfortunately, I'm not going to.
Dave's going to be a good weekend
I'm
to
not
watch
going to
golf.
dream about that one.
Justin's going to be watching golf, too. He's already told me he's going to be watching golf this weekend.
I pay extra to get golf.
He's excited
banned from
about the
my TV.
bunkers around a lot of the greens and the thick rough. He's excited to see how the players adjust to that thick grass cut. So
I have YouTube TV and I have a Premier package that bans golf. It has no golf, no tennis.
with who you're married to, there's no way it bans golf.
She doesn't want to watch it. She doesn't give a shit about it. I actually like my TV will explode if I accidentally stumble across golf.
Does he give like an alarm? And
But I won't know if it explodes because I'll be asleep because it's so fucking boring. I'll pass out immediately. I don't know how people can watch golf. I just don't get that. To me,
It's relaxing on a Sunday afternoon when you have like a heavy weekend of drinking, you're relaxing on the couch, and you're just chilling. It's in the background. It's a good show.
I could literally watch just about anything else for that.
Well, we agree to disagree, sir.
Yeah, I don't know.
Moving on to hair, though. We should move on to hairstyles.
Yeah. So there happens to be an interesting guy who probably should shave his head.
Other than me.
Just like Kyle should.
Other than me.
In, formerly in Anaheim. And that is Joe Madden, the manager of the Angels. Oh, we froze up there for a second.
I thought it was a ghost of Joe Madden for a second.
Can't embrace golf, Dave. Can't do it. But Joe Madden, the ghost of Joe Madden is right there. This isn't. Nobody has a picture of the mohawk because
I haven't seen it.
Yeah, I'm guessing it's gone.
Did he shave his head?
Well, since he has to go to job interviews now, more than likely, because the day he shaved into a mohawk to help the Angels get out of a streak, he was fired with the mohawk.
The day before, or was it the day of he got it?
They said it was the day of because the stories I read said the players didn't even get to see it yet. He had just done it in the locker room, and then got called into the office and fired before.
What a
he
team
even got to
player,
see
though.
it.
He's trying to reverse the curse. He's trying to break up.
He was trying anything. I mean, we've talked about them for years. Sorry, Dave. There's no peer pressure to getting me to watch golf. There's literally none. I hate it. I find it just unbearable. But yeah, so he manages the Angels. The Angels have, of course, Ohtani, last year's MVP. They have Mike Trout, a former MVP, one of the greatest baseball players of all time, and they fucking suck. And we've said this for years. That's the problem with Mike Trout is you have a once-in-a-generational player. This was before they got Ohtani.
Stuck on a bad team.
On a bad team. He signed a long 10-year contract, but you don't, we know about him as sports fans, but I remember being a little kid, you knew every big baseball player. I wonder how many kids are familiar with Mike Trout because he's on the West Coast. Don't get to see a lot of his games.
Yep.
Baseball's kind of a dying sport, unfortunately, in terms of fan bases. And then on top of that, the Angels are terrible. You don't get Mike Trout in the playoffs every year where you're like, oh my God, this guy's fucking amazing. That's how you get the national spotlight. You go into October and you put on a show to remember. That's Reggie Jackson, Mr. October, because he lit it up in October. Yeah. That's a name everyone knows. Mike Trout he's been in October once, I think, in his whole career.
It's just unfortunate, though. Even if he went to the playoffs, I still guarantee you that Mike Trout could walk down the middle of road or street in any busy city, and 50% of the people would know who he was.
I would agree with that.
He's
honestly
not recognizable whatsoever.
Yeah, no, that's definitely a guy that,
he's just a
if
guy.
you saw him walking around Walmart.
Horrible fantasy football commissioner, but a pretty normal guy.
I like everything he did. Did you happen to see, side note, I didn't take a picture of it, but did you see what the Giants did?
No.
They wore T-shirts the other day that said, stashing or having an injured player on IR is not cheating. They all wore
the T-shirts?
They all wore that.
I didn't see that. That's
pretty
fucking
good. It was
hilarious.
just the other day. In
That's
support
hilarious.
Of it. So, yeah, he was trying to break the streak for the Angels. They were on a 12-game losing streak. He shaved his head, and then I think they still lost that day anyway, so the mohawk didn't help. But he was fired.
So what's your thoughts of Joe Madden? Do you like him as a coach or no?
No, I think he's a fucking douche. Thought he was overrated when he was in
Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay. I think Tampa Bay is just a good organization. It doesn't matter who the managers. Look at them right now. I mean, they're still a really great baseball team every year for being a small market team. They need to get the fuck out of Tampa, truthfully, is their number one bugaboo. They need to go to a place that actually supports the fan bases because they have a good team. They have a great product. If the fans don't go,
Agreed,
and they're still great, that's the problem. Whereas the Guardians, we don't go because the owners are pieces of shit.
Right.
The team's actually pretty good. The attendance isn't great, but Tito Francona's there. You've got some reasons to go to the ballpark, but the owners are just such pieces of shit.
The afternoon.
It makes me not want to go.
The local, and Dave, I agree with you, MLB is horrible at promoting their stars. And
I know, it sucks because I remember in the 90s being a kid watching, baseball was so heavily promoted. It was everywhere. You knew all the stars.
By the logic, Tito sucks too. Tito took Boston.
No, wherever Tito goes, Tito wins.
You know, Big Papi.
Joe Madden, was good in Tampa, but didn't amount to anything. Went to Chicago, won a fluke.
Not Kyle, that's Justin.
Oh, hey, congrats, Kyle. I had no idea.
Unless you're saying that I'm that fat, Dave, that I have a baby.
Yeah, my wife has one kid.
Fuck off.
Kyle's pregnant with twins. We're excited. No, that's me, though. Thank you, though, Dave. But no, so Joe Madden went to Chicago, and honestly, I think that was a fluke championship, in my opinion. I think the Indians were so injured and depleted and on such short rest, everybody was dead. They just didn't have the depth. They put up a hell of a fight, took them to Game 7, extra innings. We all know the story. We all know the heartache. But Tito's a proven winner. Tito has multiple championships. Tito reversed a curse in Boston. He took the Indians to a Game 7 World Series, almost won that.
His management this year is the only reason why they're above 500 right now.
And Madden went to the Angels, has done dog shit, and got fired. Tito would go to the Angels and probably win a World Series with that roster, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
So I don't think Tito and Madden are even in the same conversation in terms of
we knew more
managers.
players during the steroid era. Absolutely, we did. I loved watching McGuire and Sosa back in the day hitting the home runs.
It was so fun. I mean, watching guys hit 50, 60 home runs was fucking amazing. I
Absolutely.
loved it.
Barry
That made
Bonds
you want to
back
play
in the day.
baseball. Nowadays, it's nothing but long ball, but it's just not the same as it was. It doesn't have that same feel. Back in the day, nowadays, all anybody wants to do is hit home runs. There's
Right.
no more small ball. Back in the day, it was kind of rare. So a guy hitting 40, 50 home runs, you're like, holy shit.
Sure.
Nowadays,
Big deal.
guys can hit 40 home runs in their sleep, guys you've never even heard of, and it doesn't really mean much. But yeah, so I just want to talk about that Joe Madden story. I thought that was pretty funny. Shaved his head into a mohawk. He's obviously all white. I don't even know his age. Probably got to be in his 60s, maybe 70s.
He'll find a new team shortly. I mean, he'll probably find his way back into Chicago once they fire LaRusso here soon.
J-Ram's a hell of a player. I mean, I hated, I talked about it before, I hated that he signed that long-term contract with a no-trade clause because I would like to see him go win somewhere. He deserves it. He took a huge discount to stay in Cleveland, which was a bad idea, in my opinion, for him financially. Awesome move as a Guardians fan because now I get to watch Jose Ramirez for another 5 years. But I just wish, I'd like to see him win something. I really would. I think Jose Ramirez is one of the most underrated baseball players ever.
There's a big debate going on, and we're going to get to the Braves here in a second, I'm sure, but there's a big debate amongst my friends, and I mentioned two friends, Chipper and Brabander, who are talking about who's a better player, Acuna or J-Ram, if you had to pick between the two.
Jose Ramirez.
Hands down.
Yeah.
That's what I said, too.
Because I look at it this way, Jose Ramirez, if he gets hurt for a season, the Guardians are done.
Yeah.
If Acuna gets hurt for a season, they win a World Series. So clearly he is not
because they just did that last year,
yeah,
right? Yeah.
Clearly
It's
he
weird.
is not a guy that you need on your, like, he's a great player. I'm not taking anything away from Acuna, but he's not a guy that did anything.
that the team relies on to carry him through.
He's the Carson Wentz
He's
of
a
the
great
Atlanta
great
Braves.
single player by himself. He puts up great stats.
Yeah.
His batting percentage is a little bit better than J-Ram's, but he does great solo stats. But as
Yeah.
a team overall, he doesn't do as much as J-Ram does for the Guardians.
Yeah, no, there's to me there's no debate. And again, it boils down to take one away from the team, what does that team turn into?
You would think every MVP vote every year would come down to that, but it seems like people who win the MVP, that doesn't even matter sometimes.
No, baseball voting is weird. It's very old school. It's a bunch of people that shouldn't be voting anymore for
Right.
it. Most leagues, the way they vote for MVP doesn't make any
A
sense.
bunch of old beat writers or whatever.
Yeah, a bunch of guys who have like never played and don't really deserve votes get to vote for
Right.
shit, like Hall of Fames and MVPs and stuff. I don't like that personally. But yeah, so while we're talking about the Guardians and all that, why not talk about them here? We don't have a picture or anything, but Guardians are kind of hot.
It's funny how the last time we had the show, they were on a downward
The episode
spiral.
was literally called The Slump. That was more so
And
for Stephen Kwan.
Now we're back again.
The question was who's better?
And he just answered J-Ram.
Jose Ramirez is better because when he's on the field, they win, and when he's off the field, we don't. When Acuna's on the field, they sometimes win. When he's off the field, they win World Series. So that's why he's better, Chipper. I said it slower now, so maybe you get it.
He's a
Yeah, no,
dick. He's here all night, boys.
Give me J-Ram over Acuna 10 times out of 10. But yeah, so the Guardians are hot right now, and we got a couple guys coming back. Aaron Savali, Franmil Reyes. Tough decisions coming up for the Guardians here because you got the trade deadline coming up in a month. Med Rosario, I just talked about.
It's not tough decisions. They're not going to do shit.
Well, no, not that. I mean more so tough
Okay.
decisions of who do you then send down and who do you keep because
Right.
you got Franmil coming back, so you've got to make a decision in the outfield. And right now we've got some guys playing pretty well.
Yeah.
Oscar Mercado, unfortunately, might be the odd man out. You might have to dump him.
Sadly,
and
because he's been playing pretty well, though. I mean,
he's been okay, but he is definitely
he's manageable. He's doing what you're asking of the guy to do.
He's the weak link, and I think he's out of options. So if you want to send him down, you have to put him through.
I just hope Franmil
you have to
comes back.
designate him for assignment.
Franmil comes back not the first part of the season, Franmil, and the middle part of the season, Franmil, where he's actually hitting the ball, getting the bat in the ball. Because
Yeah, I need any
need
version of
production.
Franmil
We
than
need
a
production.
2022 version because he's been trashed this year.
Yeah.
And I hate to say it because I like him, and I know Dave and I talked before the season started. Dave even said, Franmil Reyes will be the team MVP.
that's
Most valuable
Woof.
penis because he has been a dick when he's out there. He's sucked. He's been terrible.
It's nice working right there.
You like that?
I did.
That's how I do
That's
it.
creative.
No, he's been really bad, honestly. It's been embarrassing how bad Reyes has been. So he needs to come back. He needs to be better. He's rehabbing right now in the minor leagues. We'll see what happens. But I don't know. Tough decisions. And again, same thing with Savali. You have to make a decision with the starting rotation because you got Savali coming back. Hopefully he's doing a little bit better than he was doing before he got injured. So we'll see from there. But yeah, the Guardians are right now, because of how many rainouts they've had, it seems like they get about 2 a week at this point.
They've got like, I think what they said, 5 makeup games they still
At
have
least
to play.
still have to do, yeah.
That's crazy.
We're 3 games out of first, technically, even though the numbers don't add up. But just percentage-wise, we're 3 games out of first.
It's crazy.
I mean, again, it also just shows you how bad the Central is, because if you look around I mean, I'm not using the Yankees as the meter because they're killing it. They're absurdly good right now. But the Yankees have, I think, 45 wins. The Guardians have 30. And then the Mets have 41. I think the Astros have like 40 or so. So you've got a lot of teams that, I mean, they have 10 more wins.
Are we
than
building
the
towards a
Guardians.
New York versus New York World Series? How fun would that
No,
be?
the Mets are not going to be able to sustain this. I've been bashing my Mets friends for a long time. Injuries all over the place. What's his face?
I
Jacob
like that
deGrom.
sound. That's the first time I heard that sound before.
I think I have we not heard that one?
No,
before?
that's a good one.
I think Lee plays that one a lot, if I'm not mistaken.
Some
I know I've heard
vibrato
it.
behind that one.
So you've got the Mets right now, who were hot, and then you have the Braves, who are now on a 13-game winning streak, and they're actually playing right now. They were up 3-1 last I saw, so it could be 14. But they are the hottest team in baseball, easily.
Who is this? The Braves?
Yeah, the Braves, and they're killing it right now. 14-game winning streak. That's something my buddies. Oh wow, 3-3 ended the second, by the way, in the Stanley
Braves
Cup.
are 8-2 in Nationals right now.
Oh, they're up 8. Okay.
8-2, top of the 8th right now.
So the Mets, though, they've had some injuries. You've had
Chipper, I know you're getting a boner right here. Look at this, all this man right here.
They gave a huge contract to Max Scherzer. Jacob deGrom hasn't pitched this season. He hasn't been the same since they banned the sticky tack. A lot of shit.
That sticky tack has fucked a lot of people.
It really has. I mean, it goes to show you that it's legit. James Karinchak, not the same. Shane Bieber got hurt immediately. Jacob deGrom got hurt immediately after they banned it. Hasn't pitched since. The Braves are doing it without Freddie Freeman this year. I mean, good for them. It's early. I think Freddie Freeman has a better chance to win a ring this year than the Braves. Personally, I like the Dodgers overall.
Jose, I agree. I think the Mets could make it deep in the playoffs. It's hard for like Justin said, it's hard to see them maintaining this run right now.
The Mets do this almost every year. If I'm not mistaken, last year they did the same thing. They started off hot. The Braves got hot. The Mets' second half went down. Braves went up.
Right.
And then next thing you
But
know,
if I'm
the
not mistaken, last year there wasn't a starter pitcher out for most of the year, at second half of the year.
DeGrom.
Yeah, he was hurt last year.
Yeah,
that's why
he was on pace to be Cy Young, and he got hurt.
But they don't have that
He
issue
gets
this
hurt
year,
every
so.
year. Well, DeGrom's been hurt all year this year too.
Yeah, well, they're still doing without
They're
him.
doing okay, but they're not. I mean, they're
Well,
down.
DeGrom doesn't play for the Mets anymore. He plays for.
Who?
Doesn't DeGrom play for another team?
No.
Oh, he's still for the Mets.
Yeah, he just hasn't pitched all year. He's been
Who's
hurt.
the one with the Angels? That's a big player that used to.
Noah Syndergaard.
Okay.
Thor.
Never mind.
Yeah, no, DeGrom's still there. Again, DeGrom was probably going to win NL Cy Young last year, but he got hurt. I mean, only time will tell. We're about halfway through the season. We'll see what happens. Figured we talk a little baseball and give Chipper a Woody for his old age. We'll throw the Braves up on the screen briefly.
Do you think they're going to win the World Series again this year?
Who's at the Braves?
Yeah.
No.
No.
I mean, this is a hot streak in June. We saw the Indians go on one of the biggest win streaks of all time. And what did it amount to?
It's true because the Braves at this point last year weren't doing anything.
The Braves were on this streak at the end of last year.
Yeah,
they were the hottest team going into the playoffs.
A month and a half to go into
that
the last
usually is how you win the World Series in baseball. You start off, you got to be the hot team going in. That's why a lot of times in baseball, wild card teams win because you have a team that's hotter than everybody.
You just want to stay afloat most of the year and then catch fire at the end of the year.
That's it. You kind of coast. It's like the LeBron James factor. You want to coast into the playoffs, and that's where you turn it on. So we'll see what happens, but it's early.
So real quick, at the afternoon show in Cleveland, not that there are names out there, but the host for the afternoon drive was really laying into fans about not going to Guardians games this year. Have you been to a Guardians game yet this year?
Nope.
Are you planning on going to a Guardians game this year?
Eventually. I haven't had time, but it's got to be worth my while, too.
It was just interesting, the fact that he was he was making people feel guilty for not supporting this team that's exciting to watch.
Yeah.
And I had to disagree with the guy, and just you can give me your opinion, but baseball's not exciting to me right now in Cleveland. It's not fun to watch. I mean, we know what the product we're going to get. We're going to win some, we're going to lose some. It's other than going to Dollar Dog Night or Fireworks Night, what else is making me get pulled in to watch a game?
That's pretty much the only reason I would want to go is that, or if we're playing a team we wouldn't normally see. If I want to see
like a big star
if
team or
Ohtani's
something,
scheduled,
right?
the Angels are in town, I would like to go see the Angels. But honestly, it comes down to the Guardians and the Dolans. This again goes to the owner. The Indians, Guardians, by contrast with the other teams in Major League Baseball, we're a small market team.
Right.
They use that as the excuse to why they don't spend money, but our prices, ticket prices specifically, are up there with some of the most expensive in baseball. Our ticket prices don't reflect being a small market team. Our ticket prices are so much more than the Pirates, than the Reds, the Brewers, these other small market teams. The Guardians call themselves small market, but they charge people way more than other teams. They charge like a big market team, and that prevents people from going. I mean, think about a family of 4 going to a Guardians game. You're paying, I don't even know what tickets are.
What is bleacher prices nowadays?
I honestly don't know. I want to say it's like 20-something, maybe like 28. So bleacher tickets for a family of 4, you're over $100.
So $28 for a ticket. Let's just say you're going by yourself, right? $28 a ticket. A beer's what, $9?
No, if you want a tall boy, they're at least like 10 or 11 at this point.
Okay, so 10 or 11, so that's one.
Yep.
You get a hot dog, that's
if it's
probably...
not dollar dog night, it's probably like $5 or $6.
Yeah, so you're already spending close
almost
to
$50 in the hole.
$50 for a ticket, one beer, and one hot dog.
And that's not even including parking. You have to pay for parking,
Right.
which is $10 to $20 anywhere, depending on where you
Depending
park.
where you park, yeah.
So it's $100 per person to go to a game if you go by yourself.
And it's free to sit at home and turn it on and watch some of the game.
I will admit the Guardians do have some things that bring me to the stadium. Like I like to get a ticket to the bar in the corner.
Yeah.
Because you get a beer with your ticket.
Sure.
So it's like $20, $15, whatever it is.
And they do have like the pregame beers too, like $2.
On those
right?
nights, I like to go. I like to try to I try to set a new personal record for myself.
What's your record up to now?
I did 8
before the game started. It's a 2-hour
Yes.
window, right?
Like an hour and a half. Yeah.
Impressive, man.
I did 8 beers.
12 ounce?
No, they were regular 12 ounce
Okay.
Miller Lights. I did 8 from the time they opened the gates till the game started. Wanted to see how many I could do.
That's impressive.
Yeah, I'm happy with that number.
Was that dollar dog night?
Yeah, it was. So,
you
they
kind
went
of
down
like-
even better.
Yeah, perfect.
I had really bad diarrhea the next day, but so worth it. So worth it. But
money well spent.
But yeah, the Guardians really just, I mean, again, same thing with the product. You have this team who's surprisingly winning. Again, we're 3 games out of first place. You have all these different things kind of going their way. You have Tito Francona, and they just won't spend money on the team.
So that's why I'm saying when it comes to the trade deadline, I know they're not going to make any moves. I'm just like you mentioned, you're curious what they're going to do with their own team up and down in AAA to Major League. I mean, but this is a good time to go invest. Go for somebody. Get
You
a
would
big
think.
name
You would
in here,
think.
but
This is your time
it's
to.
not going to happen.
You're either swinging for the fences or you're ready to just pack it in. And
Right.
where are the Guardians standing?
Yeah.
Time will tell at the trade deadline. We'll see what happens. We'll see if they're even still winning at that point. You never know. Things can go south very quickly in baseball, as we know. Little Browns talk here for you, ladies and gents. Deshaun Watson had 2 more people come forward, 2 more women. The one woman basically claims his jizz is like the magic bullet that shot JFK and went in multiple directions, because she's claiming, and this is her quote, this is what she told when she filed the lawsuit, this is what she's claiming, that he pulled out his dick, lifted the towel, started jacking off while she was massaging him. She backed away because she's like, I don't know what to do in this situation. So instead of leaving the room while he's laying on a table, again, this is all accusations, just preface it with that. Instead of leaving the room, if a guy starts jacking off in front of you on a bed, I've never been in that situation. I hope I never have to be in that
I
situation.
mean, I usually stick around.
I would either go to the door and leave, or I'd offer him some tissues, maybe offer him a hand,
You can-
literally.
I heard emotional support in those scenarios is big too.
Yeah, maybe talk him up a little bit.
You got to
Like,
cheer
hey,
him on.
Hey, look, good stroking. You know, you can give him some positive, uplifting
Speaking of
thoughts.
golf, you have a great stroke game. So
Yeah, look at
keep
that.
Keep it going.
Don't hit the rough. And then, so she says he starts jacking off. She doesn't know what to do, so she backs away in fear. And then he just keeps jacking off to completion. And then she claims his jizz got on her chest, her face, everywhere on her.
While she's standing
While
off.
she's apparently backed away and got away from him. So he shoots the longest fucking ropes that a dick has ever shot, or she's full of shit. And for those of you out there that believe in science and believe in, I watched the show Dexter. I saw when he would put the little rope and he'd string out where the blood splatter goes. Dick doesn't do that. Most dicks don't
Does
do
he
that,
have
I
a
should
super
say.
soaker that he reached? Yeah, I mean, clearly
Yeah,
he
apparently
does.
he pumped that thing to maximum capacity and maximum PSI, and he shot it all over the room. But that's the thing that it doesn't make sense to me. She's claiming it got on her face and her chest and this and that. How does that happen?
I want to say she was up close and personal with the.
Which then that negates her story of he started doing it, I got weirded out, I backed away. How did it get on you that close? You have to be relatively close.
She was really committed to massaging those thighs.
And if he's laying on the table, did he stand up and chase her around the room with his dick? Like, how does this happen? This doesn't make any sense to me. Her story's bullshit, in my opinion.
I'm
She's
even more
one that-
impressed now with his athleticism if he's running around jerking off.
Yeah.
At the same time, that's skill.
I mean, hey, he's a pro athlete. I'm sure he could do that.
But
each stride would be like a stroke, right? And every time you run, you just go.
Absolutely. I mean,
Yeah,
he's
your
got
hand just sticks with it.
he can get a massage, he can jack off, and he can get cardio in at the same time. That's a pro athlete.
How many other how many of these other 24, 26 women now?
I think we're at 26. Yeah.
How many of these other 26 have these kind of stories like this where you can kind of look at it and go, really? Like, really?
Hers is by far the most far-fetched.
And this is the one that came out after the
This
HBO
was number
special?
25, I believe.
Was
This
the
is
H-
a woman who she tried to do this initially, and they denied her claim. They said, like, you do not have a case here. Your story doesn't seem feasible. Like, we're not taking you on.
But this was the
then
HBO
now-
special woman, right? Right after it aired, she came out.
I don't think she wasn't in the special. But
No, but she
yeah,
actually
came out
watched
after.
it, and then she came. Okay,
Which makes me think it's more so like she sees how much money they're talking about people can get, and she's like, ooh, I want that.
yeah.
Not to victim blame, but that's just how it looks to me.
Here, statute of limitations ends next March, so I guess get them in while you can. I don't know.
That's the problem right now is they're doing this.
They're just piling on.
On the bright side, though, Deshaun Watson did meet with the Cleveland media for the first time one-on-one since being a Brown. And, I mean, a camera in a massage room is I can understand that. It's kind of like I got a massage once, and I was naked in the Dominican, and you do, like,
Yeah, you
flip.
were.
And they hold the towel up so they don't see anything, but you have to flip over. So, like, a camera in the room, you're still seeing stuff, so it's kind of like bathroom privacy. Like, I don't want a camera in my gym locker room because you're stripping down and getting naked. You want some privacy.
Well, half of these massages though took place at a hotel though. That's the other thing is like
yeah,
that's
some of them
well-known.
were at a facility where it looks
Yeah.
more and more like the Houston Texans were paying a woman to.
They got added to the lawsuit too.
Yeah, Busby did come out and say that they plan on pursuing a lawsuit against the Texans, which I think is going to benefit Watson
Yeah.
because now the Texans are going to defend themselves.
Well, what's funny to me is a caller called in the other day and said, "Look, I'm not trying to be conspiracy Carl, name drop. That is somebody is. It's funny to me that after he told the Texans he was done, he wanted to be traded. Do you think the Texans then upped their participation in this and started scheduling all these massages that he wanted and started getting all the kept doing and doing and doing to kind of make this more feasible? Because then not even 4 months after he wanted traded, that's when the first ball dropped.
Yeah, it almost seems
No
like
pun
it was like they were setting him up.
Right.
As like, okay, you want traded? Well, we're going to bury you so deep that you can't get traded.
Right.
And they didn't think that he would go through with all this. They kind of called his bluff, and he said, fuck you.
Yeah.
And again, I'll preface everything. I've said it a million times about Watson. I don't think he's a creepy person or a pervert or
He's not a choir
molester.
boy, but
I think all it is he's got his thing sexually. Now, most people don't talk about their thing. You just hope it doesn't get out. For instance, Louis C.K. likes jerking off in front of people, but he asks permission. If they say yes, he starts jacking off. Weird? Sure. His thing? Yep. God bless him.
consensual. Yeah.
Yeah, consensual. Trevor Bauer, same thing. Trevor Bauer likes extreme rough sex, where he's beating the woman up, essentially. The woman wanted that, too.
Belt around the neck.
Consensual.
It's okay.
Punches to the head, this and that. Like, bad, rough shit. But if that's what you're into, that's their thing. That's not our business. What two consenting adults are doing is not our business. When they try to turn it into a legal thing like what's happening here, I think Deshaun Watson just likes to get massages and likes to have the woman touch his dick. That's his thing, one way or another. Whether he jacks off, whether they jack him off, whether they fuck, blowjob, whatever, that's what he's into. It is what it is. It's weird, but it is what it is.
Yeah. I mean, it's.
And I think it's now just women are trying to come out because they see a payday, and I hate to say that. Maybe some of them do have a little bit of maybe he, I'm sure he'll settle. That's going to be the end all be all of this. I think.
Do you think the NFL gets involved and says, "Look, here's what we initially want to give you is X amount of days, games, or whatever, but if you settle all this shit now, then we'll go down to this."
If anything, it might be backwards because they can't exactly threaten him with a longer lawsuit for not settling. Because then settling, people look at as an admission of guilt. If he doesn't settle, what can the NFL really stand by?
So you think it's a game of chicken right now?
I beat these grand juries, multiple, and now I'm in civil court, and I plan on fighting that. The NFL, I can't see them coming out and being like, well, we're going to punish you more if you don't settle.
So do you think this is the game of chicken right now? Is who gives first?
Yes and no.
Deshaun or the NFL?
I mean, from what I'm hearing, the NFL has a decision, and it'll be coming down within probably July, is what I keep hearing.
Before
Sometime in
training
July.
camp
It'll be
starts,
right before training camp. I think he will appeal, rightfully so. And, it's going to be interesting to see what happens with him because I think anything more than like 4 games, whatever they gave to Ben, is way too much.
We had 6. Ben then appealed.
Yeah, he
got down
appealed to
to
get 4.
Yeah.
So if they gave if they gave Watson 4 after an appeal, or even if it stayed at 5 or 6, I could live with that. If it's anything more than that, if they're going to try to make an example out of him for allegations, I think is fucking ridiculous. It's crazy. You can't make this guy an example like Major League Baseball is doing to Trevor Bauer. I think Trevor Bauer, I've said it before, is going to sue and is going to win against Major League Baseball because what they're doing is wrong. He was cleared on everything. He didn't do anything wrong, and they're still punishing him?
Yeah.
That's not right.
It's going to be interesting to see what happens, but it's the NFL. I mean, they've punished people for doing far less. I mean, far more for less means people have killed people and they've gotten no suspensions. I mean,
Right.
we had someone on camera punching someone in the face and he got next to nothing as well. So it's just weird.
Well, which one?
Not Ray
Rice?
Not him. Someone else. Another. I think it was an Atlanta Falcons player that got like abusive or. Trying to think here.
I know Alvin Kamara just beat a guy up in Vegas during
So it
the
wasn't
Pro
Kamara.
Bowl.
Someone else that got like abusive, like a domestic, where it was caught on camera, but like he like slapped someone or whatever, and they didn't do much
I
to
know
him.
Joe Mixon hit a woman in college,
Maybe
so
it
got
was
drafted
Mixon.
and was fine. But I think she called him an N-word, so understandable in my
Sure,
opinion.
sure. But I mean, but I'm saying is that their punishment is so up and down.
Yeah,
there's no consistency.
There's
whatsoever.
no consistency, and again, the best situation you can compare it to is Ben Roethlisberger because he was accused of 2 actual rapes. Watson's been accused of 20-something sexual misconducts, whatever that means.
And only 3 of them have been actual.
Yeah, 3 of them were actual sex, and they're not
Sex.
even claiming that he raped them.
Right.
It's just they're saying that basically like they couldn't say no because he's Deshaun Watson. They didn't know what to do, so they fucked him, and then now they have remorse.
Yep.
Which, sorry, not a crime. You know, you go to McDonald's, you eat a double cheeseburger, it gives you diarrhea. You can't go back and sue them and want your money back because you made a bad decision. That's just life.
I wish
you
I
live
could,
with it,
though.
honey.
I
Sorry.
wish I could. That'd be great.
Yeah, a little more Browns news here before we take a quick break. We are gonna maybe see Baker on the move.
I hear the Carolina things are picking up.
There are some hot rumors that the Carolina Panthers are not happy with their current quarterback situation and they want to get it fixed before training
No,
camp
the head
officially
coach
starts.
said Sam Darnold is quarterback number 1.
Yeah, I mean, how many times have you heard that with every shitty team with shitty quarterbacks? They're always like, no,
He is on the
look at-
record
look
for
at the
saying
Seahawks.
QB number 1.
Pete Carroll's like, yeah, it's Drew Lock. You know, we're excited for Drew Lock. You think Pete Carroll really fucking thinks Drew Lock's their answer? No, he doesn't.
He's their savior up there.
So we'll see what happens. I mean, I think the Browns even said Baker was our guy 2 days before they traded for Deshaun Watson.
That's
so
true, too.
You see how that goes in the NFL. What you hear and what they do are totally different things.
But again, the Browns are doing what they said they would do. Is they're
Yep.
being patient. They're sitting back. They're letting everything happen in training camps.
Yep.
They're letting players either get hurt or coaches decide this is not what I want for our team. And that knowing that you have Baker Mayfield in your back pocket, I would assume healthy Baker Mayfield, he is a desirable quarterback to a lot of teams.
Yeah, I mean, he's a guy that maybe a change
Just
of
not
scenery
the
is good
Browns.
for him. Yeah, I mean, the Browns have upgraded. The Browns have a better quarterback on the roster, Deshaun Watson, than Baker, so they don't need him.
Yep.
A team like Carolina, like Seattle has, I mean, even the Giants, I've talked about them before. I don't think they do it, but a team like the Giants, you look at their quarterback room, you go, Baker's better than all of these guys. So those are teams that he makes sense to go to. Right now, Baker would be the best quarterback in Pittsburgh. You know, I doubt he's not getting traded there. That bridge has been crossed, but just saying teams that could definitely use an upgrade at quarterback, Baker's available.
There's an account on Twitter that's following every fumble that Kenny Pickett has in training camp. Like
Oh, God, I can
I
imagine.
have to find it and send it to you. But he's like,
I would follow it, but I'd have to mute the account because they'd be tweeting so much.
The other day they talked to a couple they had in training camp where the ground, like he got a shotgun ball, he got it and he dropped the ball into the ground and got picked up by defense. So it's just hilarious watching that
those
someone's
little baby
actually
hands.
watching it.
That's honestly, that's what I look most forward to about Steel City Renegades this year is being on with them and seeing how they defend the Steelers. Because I know, as a Browns fan, I'm very critical. I will come on and talk shit about whoever fucked up. I don't care. Most Steeler fans that I've ever met are not critical.
No.
They love everything their
Everything
team's
they
done.
do.
Their players are the best players. Like, if you get into an argument of who's Minka Fitzpatrick's overrated, they'll immediately, the fuck he is! He's so good!
Best safety ever.
Myles Garrett, greater than TJ Watt. It's proven statistically by Pro Football Focus guys who dive deep into like players and their specific stats. Steeler fans, no way, he's not better. He won a Defensive Player of the Year. Like, that's the end all be all. They don't look into like, okay, well, he's getting triple teamed and doesn't have Cam Hayward next to him. I could go on about this forever, but basically, fuck the Steelers.
You digress though.
Yeah, I digress. Before we go to break, though, a couple things. When we come back, we're going to do a thing called 1 Year Wonders, where we're going to talk about all over the country players that had 1 year of greatness and then fell back to earth immediately after. And next week, because we want to get you guys involved, everybody watching at home, come up with a list now. We're going to do Cleveland one-year wonders next week. This week, we specifically avoided Cleveland players so we could do them all next week. So how we're going to do it is NFL, MLB, NBA, and college. What I mean by that is a guy in college who was really good, suckered a Cleveland team into drafting them, and then they sucked ass when they got here.
Yep.
So that's kind of what we're looking for. You'll understand more when we talk here right after break. We're going to do our nationwide one-year wonders. We hope you guys enjoy that. And one more thing, I didn't put this on the docket, but I just want to give a shout-out to Dustin Brown, the Kings captain. The Los Angeles Kings is retiring. Great player. I only own one NHL sweater, they call it, not a jersey, and it is a Dustin Brown one. And he is officially retired after their season ended. This happened weeks ago. I just haven't had a chance to talk about it. I kind of forgot to bring it up on the show. But I'm an LA Kings fan. Seeing him retire really sucks. He's the captain. Saw him win 2 Stanley Cups with the Kings. It was awesome. Shout out to him for getting out. He has no teeth left, but that's the price you pay to play hockey.
Yeah, hockey.
Hockey's such a better sport than golf. It's not even close. Speaking of, we are in the Stanley Cup Finals with the Avalanche taking on the Tampa Bay Lightning. Tampa Bay Lightning going for the three-peat. They've won back-to-back. They're going for 3 in a row here.
Right now. Wow.
And it is 3-3 in the third period, so that should be a hell of a series. But with that, we are going to take a quick break. We're going to do some ads, and then we're going to come right back. We're going to do the one-year wonders, and we're going to wrap all this shit up. So we'll talk to you guys soon. Think of your list now while, again, we're doing the same sports. NFL, NBA, MLB, NCAA. Come up with your thoughts in the comments.
Yeah, drop the comments in while we're doing
We're going to
ours.
name ours. Tell us what you think. If we missed anybody, let us know. We'd love to hear it. So we'll talk to you guys in like 5 minutes. We'll see you.
Redline Radio LLC is proud to partner with Growing Wings Adult Services for the creation of our brand new state-of-the-art production studio. Growing Wings Adult Services has been assisting adults with disabilities in the Northeast Ohio area for the past 5 years. For more information on how Lisa and the team at Growing Wings can assist your family, you can contact Lisa at 234-334-7547 today. Detroit Auto Parts is the official parts store of Red Line Radio LLC. They have 2 convenient locations on the east side. You can call 216-531-7373, or on the west side, call 216-398-7373. Mention Redline Radio and receive 10% off your purchase. It's the official home and auto parts store of Redline Radio LLC. If you need any custom t-shirts, banners, stickers, anything like that made, then you reach out to Incredible Keepsakes. As Diane always says, cherished moments are made to last forever. You can reach Incredible Keepsakes at 440-242-9648 or check out their websites at incrediblekeepsakes.com. And don't forget to mention that Redline Radio sent you. For all of our programming information, you can check us out on all social media platforms. You can listen to all of our great programming and live 24-hour music on the Redline Radio LLC app. You can find it on the Google Play Store, but you can also check us out at redlineradiolllc.com, where we are always live.
We are here with your favorite part of the show. That's right, everybody. Ads.
The money makers.
It really is. If we don't do this, we don't have a show to do. So without further ado, we are coming to you live from the Growing Wings Adult Services state-of-the-art studio number 2. Contact Lisa Summers if you are looking for anybody to take care of adults with disabilities. For more information, call 234-334-7547 today.
State of the art is the understatement because we only come to you live from this beautiful studio because of one reason, obviously, other than Dave and Lee, is because Wiggins Construction came in here and made this studio look what it looks like. It's amazing. Everything you need for a studio, it's perfect. Wiggins Construction and Home Improvement, all your bathroom, kitchen, windows, doors, siding, and much more. Give Will a call today at 440-731-7654. Tell them that Redline Radio sent you.
You know, I really could have used them over the weekend because we're doing some renovation work in the basement, and my wife is super cheap. No, we didn't break anything. Okay. I mean, it broke my spirit because I hate doing housework, but we were renovating the basement a little bit, and I told my wife, I'm like, we need to call Wiggins because I hate doing this shit. My motto is hire somebody else to do it. That's my motto.
Do less for more.
And lo and behold, she said, no, we're not spending money. So we, of course, did it ourselves. And that was a grueling weekend and more of it to look forward to this weekend. Can't wait. However, one thing I am very excited about coming up in July that I haven't mentioned yet on the show, I'll do a plug for it another time, but my wife's uncle, he just beat brain cancer. They found tumors in his head. He was able to beat it.
That's awesome.
And they're doing a fundraiser for him on July 30th. And I reached out to a few people, a few companies that do autographs and memorabilia and stuff, and I just said, I'm looking to buy something cheap and or looking for anything. If you have any stuff you'd like to donate for a raffle basket, because all the proceeds are going to the family to help with medical bills, I reached out to One of One Sports Cards and Memorabilia. Really? And I reached out to a lot of different people, and One of One were the only people to reply.
That's amazing.
So they actually came back and they said they're going to speak with the crew and they're going to get back to me and let me know what they can do. So shout out to them. But if you're looking to buy anything, support a great company, One of One Sports Cards and Memorabilia. They're located at 13221 Prospect Road in Strongsville. Give them a call, 440-638-4044. Tell them JG sent you. This is probably going to mean something now if they hook me up with this for this fundraiser. Saying JG sent me, we're going to have a little bit of a connection here. So this is how it happens, folks.
You have just thought it into existence.
I really have. It's turned into a thing. But yeah, shout out to them. Honestly, they're the only people that have responded and said that they're going to look into it and do what they can.
July 30th, you said?
Yep.
I think I said yes. I'm going to. I can't wait. That's a good cause.
Absolutely.
Go spend
He's a
money.
great guy. He's a huge Browns fan. If you're a Cleveland fan out there, again, I'll make it my just the tip in the coming weeks, maybe next episode, to get more people involved because I wanted to wait. They're going to do a GoFundMe page. They haven't set that up yet, so I'm kind of just waiting to see what happens.
Right. That's awesome. Good. I'm glad he beat it. That's great.
Absolutely.
Speaking of good companies, another great company that I've utilized is Fitz Trash Bin Cleaning. I never cleaned the trash bins when I bought this house 2 years ago, and they were due. They were completely disgusting. So they came out, they put them on their machine, they sprayed them out, they cleaned them out, they sanitized them, they made them look pristine as best you could, and they smell a lot better just to put more trash in them. But you know what? They did a great job. I recommend them. I know we always have those trash bins that need cleaned out, so give them a call at 440-752-1533. Mention Redline Radio while you book a service, and guess what? You will receive 10% off your first cleaning.
Now, if you're sitting at home right now and you're watching the show, if you're listening, obviously, then this doesn't mean anything to you and you can change it. I'm just kidding. But if you're watching it, you can see right now, I have a lot of tattoos. This is just what you can see on my arms. I have them on my body, my legs, my chest, etc.
Everywhere.
I really do. I want more. And in order to get more, you got to go to a tattoo shop. So I need to hit up Tattoo Therapy Inc. They are the new official sponsor of Redline Radio and Money's Crazy Mind. And they're located in Parma, right next to Penn Station Subs, if you're familiar with that area. Parma Heights-ish, if you will. I'm very familiar. It's not far from me at all, so I need to get in contact with them, get in there and get some work done. Free consultations. They're going to want to make sure you're on the same page with your artist. They're going to draw something fresh up for you. You can go in and pick something off the wall if you like that. I used to do that when I was younger. When I first started getting tattoos, I didn't know that they would design something. So I'd walk in, I'd flip through the pages, and I'd say, give me that, and then I'd go in the back and get a couple tattoos. Now that I know a little bit more, I plan on calling them at 440-747-7130 or visiting at 6259 Pearl Road, Parma Heights, Ohio. Check them out, Tattoo Therapy Inc. Great artists, great people. They look forward to working with you, and you're going to look forward to working with them.
That's awesome. Speaking of awesome designs, you want to get tattoos on your body, you want to design stuff on your body. If you want to design stuff on a shirt you want to wear, any kind of designs, hats, T-shirts, whatever you want done, you want to go over to Incredible Keepsakes. They've done some of the shirts that the station we wear. Or some people wear polos. They put the name on it.
I've heard about these shirts.
I've heard the rumors. I've heard they're beautiful shirts. I don't have one. Great hats, whatever. They will take care of you at Incredible Keepsakes. And Diane, famous quote of all time is, cherished moments are made to last forever. So trust me, go to their website at www.incrediblekeepsakes.com and tell them Redline sent you. She'll be able to give you all the options and anything you need. They're worth checking out.
Now, my wife, for a living, she does hair. She's a hairstylist. Mostly women. Predominantly women. Occasionally she does a men's cut here and there, but it's expensive. She does good work, don't get me wrong, but sometimes the guy just wants to go sit down at a barber shop, shoot the shit with a guy.
Absolutely.
You want to have some sports talk. You want to talk about chicks and beef jerky and all that shit and riverboat gambling trips. You know what guys do. And some guys don't know where to go. And I know that because I see people walking on the street. I look at their haircut and I think, man, that's one ugly fucking guy. He's so fucking ugly. Like, how does he look in the mirror and go, this looks good. My hair, what I did today looks good. And I'm not making fun of Kyle here. I don't want anybody to think I'm doing a callback. But I see guys with really bad haircuts, and I'm just like, man, what the hell are they thinking? Lo and behold, our problems just got solved because we have a new sponsor on this show, and they knew what I was talking about because they named themselves after my dilemma that I deal with by looking at these ugly people. They fix ugly. Because their company is called I Fix Ugly, the barbershop in Cleveland, Parma, Ohio. It's on 4497 State Road, right in my old stomping grounds in the Parma district. 216-400-6969. What a great number. I'd pay good money for that number personally. But they fix ugly. Go in, get your ears lowered. They're going to take care of you. They're going to make you look good. They're going to give you a crisp cut. Check them out.
I think my hair looks great today, by the way. I'm not wearing a hat. I don't have hat hair today. I mean, the little hair that I do have. But, you know, you get hat hair by wearing a hat, by wearing sometimes helmets. You know who wears helmets? People who race fucking trucks.
And Steelers fans.
And Steelers fans. Yes. CRS Truck Series. It's a truck series that Dave is very, very proud of. He does the play-by-play, I believe. He does.
He is loving that, honestly.
Absolutely. I mean, like I said, I think we talked about the last time we were on the air. They actually they had live on Redline Radio the live race of the truck series. It was kind of cool to watch all these trucks running around the track. I'm not big into racing per se. NASCAR, it's not my sport, but I'll tune in. It was fun to watch. It was a good time to watch. I mean, I'm sure going to the races is far better. Just you go drink some beers, hang out with the boys, and watch some cars go around the track. But CRS Truck Series, they are the premier race series of Redline Radio. If you ever want sponsorship opportunities, you want to give Billy a call over at 216-217-5038. It's worth checking out. Next time around Redline, take a watch for a while.
Speaking of Redline Radio, you're here for talking about balls right now, but did you know that Redline Radio has a show every day of the week, multiple times a day? Great content, great hosts, great people. You're going to want to check it out. Quick plug also for this Saturday, if I'm not mistaken, is the Celebrity All-Star Game.
Oh, is it, Tim?
I think it's this Saturday, the 18th, right? Give it up to Redline Radio's own. You got Lex Vegas. You've got Dave. Dave, I haven't seen Dave in a while. He hasn't been in the studio. He's working multiple jobs. And
are they going to record this like an N1 mixtape?
I hope not, for Dave's sake.
I think they might have some camera there. I don't know how much.
I know some shows will be streaming live. Lex will be streaming live.
Yeah.
Lex is going to be there. I'm going to talk to the pregame, see if they want to do it there.
Visually, I don't know if we'll be able to see it.
I want highlights.
It would be nice.
We'll see. What
if you give me some highlights, we'll talk about it next time we're on the show. We will John Madden this.
Dave started working a lot more. We've had a lot of hot days. Hopefully that helped him lose some weight, get himself into game shape. He's ready to go. He's got football.
Dave was wearing like 25 layers today when it was 95
sweating
degrees.
It out. He's getting himself in game shape. I respect that. He's got basketball to play. He's got football to play. It's going to be a full day, full event. A lot of guys from Redline Radio are going to be well represented there, so that's going to be awesome.
That's awesome.
But if you can't make it to that, like I can't personally, I've got my house renovations and shit going on. If you can't make it, you can still check out everybody's shows. Like I said, you have Lex Vegas, who's got a show 7 to 8. You've got Club Pizzle, new show going on. Tomorrow's going to be week 3 for him, I think
so, yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, you've got Club Pizzle from 9 to 10 that just started June 2nd. Money's Crazy Soundtrack on Thursday nights. But if you're busy on Thursdays, like sometimes we all do, you could check them on any other night of the week because you've got Tuesday, Tim Buck Tuesday, our very own, 6 to 8, killing it, doing his thing. If you're a fan of Tim with us, you're going to be a fan of Tim's show. I know I am. I know Kyle is. I tell everybody to listen to it. I check it out every week. It's great. Wednesdays, leading us in, you've got Sugar and Spice and Continuing to Serve. Friday nights, of course, you got Money's Crazy Mind. It's different from Money's Crazy Soundtrack. Money does a lot of shit, so he's got different nights of the week to do it all.
He's everywhere.
And then coming up soon, you're going to have Steel City Renegades coming back Sunday night, 7 to 9. We're going to have them on our show probably next episode. I'm going to reach out to them. They could come on with us. We'll do a little NFL preview and let them kind of get themselves back in the swing of things because they haven't done their show in a while.
They got to dust off the old windpipe to get going.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's only fitting that they come be on the show of champions for an episode to kind of, who better to learn from than the best? That's how I look at it. So we're going to have them on and, check out everybody from Redline Radio. If I sat here and read the rest of this list, I mean, look at it. I'd be here till the end of the show, and I just don't have time for that. But check it out on your own and give Redline all the love. And then I don't think we're going to take another break. We're going to go right back into it. Yeah.
Doing it live.
Doing it live. We are rolling with it. It is time for 1 year wonders. Now, I told you guys at home to get your lists going. I have mine. Kyle has his. We're coming up with our Cleveland list for 2 weeks from tonight. We'll be doing that. So again, NFL, NBA, MLB, college. The collegiate one is a guy that was good for a year or so, kind of duped a Cleveland team into taking them.
That's next week.
Came to the pros, 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
And sucked. That's the Cleveland one. So for those of you at home, do your homework, come prepared. I'm sure there's going to be people I never even thought of that we've forgotten, and I want all of your guys' names, so fill me with them.
That's what she said.
It is, unless she's with Deshaun Watson, because then she said it and then regretted it.
And then she said, put it on your face.
My first one for the NFL, 1 year wonder, is a guy that I did not like coming out of college. I fought with my uncle daily.
This is NFL?
Regularly. This is NFL.
Okay.
He wanted the Browns to trade up and draft this guy in the worst way. Said he is a franchise-changing, greatest quarterback he's ever seen. And thank God they didn't. And that would be Robert Griffin III, RG3, who did he came to Cleveland for a cup of coffee, and he sucked. He was not very good. He's a 1 year wonder in my opinion because, I'll let Kyle tell his. I'm sorry. We'll break down why, but my pick is Robert Griffin III.
All right. Mine for the NFL is Icky Woods. Back in the day for the Cincinnati Bengals, I remember the Icky Shuffle.
A little before my time. I'm familiar with it.
Have we ever done the Icky Shuffle by ordering lunch meat at a store? Tim, anybody? No? Okay.
Do the cold cut. Do the cold cut.
He knows. It's a good commercial.
Do the cold cut.
Didn't he spike like a sandwich or something?
He spiked it on the fucking ground.
It's a really good commercial.
But yeah, so Icky Woods was my pick. So why is RG3 yours?
So RG3 came out of the draft with a lot of hype. He was at Baylor. He was a super athletic quarterback. He ran like Lamar Jackson. He had a better arm than Lamar Jackson, so he was a better quarterback.
Fun to watch, yeah.
Really fun, entertaining, but I saw that and I thought, this isn't going to translate well into the NFL. I just don't see it happening that way. He's kind of small. He's injury prone. He runs the ball a little too much.
A lot of stop and go movement with him, too.
Yeah. What'd you say, Tim?
Which is kind of perfect. You got the knee brace in the picture.
Exactly, yeah. Because that's exactly what happened to him. So I think he got hurt a couple times in college. Then the Redskins traded up to the number 2 overall pick that year. I think it was behind Andrew Luck, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
It was the same year. And RG3 was drafted. Came out Rookie of the Year.
On fire.
Took him to the playoffs. In said playoff game against the Seahawks, if I'm not mistaken.
Snap.
Tried to run a touchdown in. Blew his knee out. That was all she wrote. And his career had never recovered. He struggled to stay healthy and struggled to be productive with the Redskins. He was released, if I'm not mistaken. He found his way in Cleveland. He was the backup in Baltimore for a couple of years. Just never latched on with anybody. Was never the same player. So for me, I don't want to say I'm happy to see a guy get hurt, but I do feel a little bit of joy when I say something and I truly believe it, and then it happens. Like RG3, I told my uncle, I said, this guy's not going to be good in the NFL. His game doesn't translate. He's too small. He's going to get hurt. Lo and behold, that all happened.
Yeah.
Is he kind of cheating that you used him because he was a Cleveland Brown?
Ooh.
No, because I'm his year of 1 year wonder didn't happen in Cleveland, so I feel like that negates it.
That's the escape
he came
clause
here,
there.
and, I mean, he didn't do anything here. It's not like we signed him and they were like, "This is our franchise-changing quarterback." You know what I mean? So I'm saying it doesn't count.
Denied. Icky Woods, mine's pretty simple. I mean, I know we when you texted your list this morning.
Technically, now that I look at my list, I have 2 more guys that spent time in Cleveland.
Oh, on your list?
Very brief, but they did spend a little bit of
Nice.
time. 2 more on top of RG3.
Icky Woods, 1988 season rookie, came out, had a hell of a year. This is the year the Bengals went to the World Series. Wow, Super Bowl against the 49ers, I believe. Had a hell of a year rushing back then, 1,066. I think he was close to winning, Rookie of the Year or whatever. The next 3 seasons, the most yards he rushed for was 268 yards.
Yeah, Nick Chubb could do that in about a week or two. So that's
and
bad.
we had the Icky Shuffle back in the day, the whole dance. It was a big thing, for Cincinnati that year.
Sure.
But he only played 4 years in the NFL.
Yep.
Those next 3 years, done, out of it, and no longer. That's all he's famous for. Not playing football, is just that Icky Shuffle.
That is why NFL sometimes can stand for not for long.
Yep.
But yeah, now that I look at my list, I do have it. And I think that, if anything, that just shows you how
many
Cleveland has been over the
transient.
last 25, 30 years, whatever, where we're willing to bring in guys who everybody else knows sucks. And we're like, please come to Cleveland. And they're terrible, and they come here and they don't do shit.
That's a big name.
It's fitting.
Sign them.
It's fitting. NBA, we're going to move on.
Dwayne
Actually, I'm
Bowe.
sorry. Honorable mentions. I have an honorable mention for who I almost picked for my one-year wonder.
Okay.
I almost picked Michael Clayton. For those of you that don't remember, he was drafted, I think it was 2006 or something like that. He came in his rookie year. He had 80 catches. He had 1,200 yards receiving, 7 touchdowns. He went on to have 3 career touchdowns the rest of his career.
At least he tried.
He had 7 in his rookie year, and he had 3 for the rest of his entire life in the NFL. Just a horrible, horrible career. He was drafted by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He was a first-round pick. Again, great rookie season. 80 catches, 1,200 yards, 7 touchdowns. You're looking at that and you're going, we have future Randy Moss right here. And not quite. He went on to be terrible. So he was my honorable mention for NFL. Do you have a second guy by chance?
My honorable mention was David Tyree. So we say
the greatest catch.
Right, we say 1 year wonder. Mine's a 1 play wonder.
Yeah.
So the only thing he's known for is the bubblegum catch to the helmet in the Super Bowl that won the Giants the Super Bowl that year. That catch he came down to where he caught it on top of his head. But yeah, David Tyree. I mean, he did shit before that. He's done shit after that, and there you go. That's all he's known for.
But I also feel like that's almost like a good thing, though. Not a good thing. Like obviously he wanted his career to be better.
Top, yeah.
But not even that. Like just he's known for the greatest catch in a Super Bowl, arguably. So it's like he didn't do anything any other year.
He's got a Super Bowl ring, so it's more than I do. But
he caught the greatest catch you might ever see in a Super Bowl. Won a championship.
Ooh, I don't know about that.
He's known for it. What do you think it would be?
Santonio Holmes in the corner.
No, I think Tyree was a better catch.
I don't know. That Santonio Holmes catch where his feet were almost out of bounds. And he just tapped the toes in.
That was just good athleticism, but to catch a
That's
ball,
a hell of a catch,
pin it to your helmet.
I get it. It's a great catch, but
I'm going David Tyree. Fans, you vote. I'm going David Tyree.
I mean, I'm not even a Steelers fan, but I will say it's one of the best catches.
It was a good catch, but I think David Tyree's is like, when you think of a great Super Bowl catch, that's the first one everyone thinks of, in my opinion. NBA, moving on. My pick for 1 year wonder. Now, this one's kind of difficult because he had a couple other similar years, but I'm more so going off of what the media tried to portray him.
Okay.
And that is Jeremy Lin Sanity.
He was fun to watch for that year.
He was with the Knicks.
Mine was Tyreek Evans from. He started off in Sacramento, and then he went, I think, to the Pacers, another team. But
he bounced around a little bit.
He did bounce around a lot after that. But Tyreek Evans is my pick.
So as you can see behind me, Lin Sanity.
Time.
He made the cover of
Time
Time magazine. He was in the top 100 influential people of the world. You couldn't watch NBA without hearing about Jeremy Lin. He wasn't even that good. He averaged 18 points that year.
He just had some big plays.
He came up big in a few games. He helped the Knicks, who were a bad team. He helped them win some games. More power to him, but the fact that he turned into a thing of Lin Sanity and this and that, and he's played on 100 different teams since then. He's no longer in the NBA, of course, but he took the world by storm overnight. And I remember I had an argument with a guy, because this was his 2011 to 2012 season. I had an argument with a guy who was telling me that Jeremy Lin's a better point guard than Kyrie Irving, or a better basketball player than Kyrie Irving. This was a legitimate argument that I was having with, at the time, my cousin's boyfriend. They're no longer together. Thank God she saw the light at the end of the tunnel and she thought a little wiser. But he legitimately said Jeremy Lin was better than Kyrie Irving, and I was like, I can't really talk basketball with you ever again with comments like that. That's how I get with people. I always tell them, I can't talk sports with you
People
anymore.
are allowed to have bad takes, but then when you have a really bad take, it's like we're done talking.
I will put up with a lot, but there are some times where people say some shit where I literally just respond with, I can't talk sports with you, and then they think I'm joking, and they send me laughing emojis. I'm like, no, you're the dumbest person I've ever talked to.
We'll talk about the weather from now on.
Yeah, just tell me how things are with you. I don't ever want to talk sports with you.
He took NBA by storm the year he was in New York because he had a lot of big plays. Everyone was watching. People were going to the games. And, of course, he brought in the entire,
the Asian community, for sure. And that's a huge demographic that the NBA has grasped onto. The one thing, though, with Jeremy Lin is statistically, he's had similar years to the year that he had in New York when he was on
He's
fire.
a serviceable player.
Very serviceable. I think
yeah.
he actually averaged like 18 points a few years ago. I think he was with Toronto or something, if I'm not mistaken. He had some decent years, but the fact that he just overnight was like the face of the NBA and had a nickname, the cover of Time magazine, all for what? To just eventually just back off into the distance and be a role player that no one ever really heard of. So that's why he made my list.
Tyreek Evans, he was I remember when he came out and he was drafted by the Kings, had a hell of a rookie season. Like he came out on fire. Like the Kings literally shifted their next 3 seasons around drafting to support Tyreek Evans because that's how much they believed in him. And after his rookie season, he did shit. Like he didn't do much. He was very, very. I think he had like 9 or 10 points per game, like 2 or 3 assists per game. Not a guard you want to build around.
No, like those are Isaac Okoro numbers.
Yeah, he fell on his face.
And that's not a compliment.
And the Kings tried to build around him. They failed at it. I think Tyreek left after 4 years, went to another team. But I mean, he was great for the 1 year. He was fun to watch. And the Kings like, yeah, we got the guy we want. And he did nothing after that.
So my honorable mention for the NBA is a guy who, again, had a cup of coffee in Cleveland, Andrew Bynum. Andrew Bynum was drafted. He was a first-round draft pick. I think he was like number 10. He was the youngest player drafted of all time at like 17 years old. He had all this hype. He got to play with Kobe. I think he won a championship or 2. But it took him 6 years to get to an All-Star game. He did it, and everyone thought, okay, it took him a while because he was young, but he found himself. And after that, he hurt his knee, bounced around from team to team. Like I said, he came to Cleveland. He went to a bunch of different teams. So Andrew Bynum, for me, is a one-year wonder. Then I just think with the hype that he got of being fresh out of high school, super young, first-round draft pick to the Lakers of all teams. You're on, one of the best dynasty teams in NBA history. All to just do pretty much nothing.
He bowled pretty well.
Is he a good bowler?
No, that's just how he hurt himself.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot about that. No shit, that's right. I forgot about that.
Wow, that's a good pick. I like
And then he
that.
came to
Andrew
Cleveland
Bynum.
with a dumbass haircut and sat on the bench in a fucking suit and did nothing.
Paid him to do nothing.
Yep, pretty much. So Andrew Bynum was my honorable mention.
My honorable mention was Jerome Jones. You remember this guy?
Vaguely.
He played, and I'm not lying about this stat. He played 13 games.
Okay.
In the 2004 season, he averaged 12.4 points per game, 8.5 rebounds. Had a hell of a year. Did well in the playoffs for this team. I think he played for the Bucks then. Did well in this team. Did so well that the Knicks offered him a $30 million contract and signed him for a 4-year deal, where he went on to average 4.3 points per game and 2.1 rebounds per game for the next 5 years. And if you look it up, you Google it, he's the nightmare in New York because that was one of the dumbest signings the Knicks ever had. And they've had a lot of dumb signings, but
it's something about New York and especially the ones that have orange in their uniforms because they have not only done that with Jerome Jones, patented J.G. Burp. They did it just last year with Julius Randle.
Yep.
They did it with Kemba Walker.
Yep.
They did it in a different sport, but baseball, the Bobby Bonilla Day. They're still paying Bobby Bonilla.
What a
like
hell
the
of a...
Mets and the Knicks just make
that
terrible
day's coming
decisions.
up. Surely it's July.
I think it's July
yeah.
something. So yeah, Bobby Bonilla will be getting a fresh $1 million deposited into his bank account.
Such a nice career. He won good, and even a year. He had 13 games where he did well in the playoffs, was on national TV.
Sure.
Everyone watched him. The Knicks were like, we want that guy. Paid him $30 million to do absolute fucking shit.
Idiots. That's just what the Knicks do. It's what New York teams do. They're very dumb. Now we're on to baseball. My pick,
MLB.
who I apparently stole this from Kyle. This is who he was going to pick, but I think it was so obvious.
Yeah, it's a pretty obvious pick.
Brady Anderson was my pick.
Yeah, man, he tortured the Indians back in the day.
And this is another guy that he played on the Indians for 1 year.
Yeah.
By
that point, nobody remembered.
It was literally the
Brady.
final year of his career.
Yeah.
It was 2002. He played here I think he was here for like 30 games.
By that
like
point,
that.
nobody remembers he was Brady Anderson at that point. Mine's Rick Ankiel. He was a pitcher for the St. Louis Cardinals. He's jumped around a couple other teams, but that was my pick for the 1 year wonder. What do you got for Brady?
So I went with Brady Anderson because his 1996 season was historic. He had 50 home runs. He had 100-something RBI. He was very, very heavily linked to juicing and steroids, and that explains
did
why
he ever
he had
admit
50
to it,
home
though?
runs.
I don't think
No,
he
never
admitted
did.
to it, yeah.
So he had 50 home runs that year. He was an all-star. He got some MVP votes, etc. And he never hit, like here, I got it right here. 50 home runs, never hit 24, or never hit more than 24 another year in his career. So less than half.
He lost his eye for the ball.
That was it. And then 110 RBI, and his maximum in his career was 80 after that. So that's not a huge drop-off. I mean, he only got 30 RBI. That's not terrible. But the home runs is where it just screams steroids, because how do you go from 24 as your career high
That was 97?
to 50?
97?
96 was his good year.
Because the McGuire year was, what, 97, 98? The year
Yeah, the
after that?
Sosa.
Yeah, so that was like right when the steroid era was starting to get going.
And that's why everyone's like, who the fuck is Brady Anderson? How is he doing this? But that's what he did with the Orioles.
It's so majestic watch him hit those balls off that building back there. Because that's
Yeah,
all
I mean, he could crush it.
boom.
But again, 1 year of 50 home runs and then never hit more than 24.
Rick Ankiel, great pitcher for the 1 year. He finished second in Rookie of the Year voting. Was I think like a 2.1 or a 1.9 ERA for the year. Led the Cardinals to the playoffs, and guess what? Got to the playoffs. This guy could not hit the fucking strike zone. Could not strike. He could not throw people out. He could not get batters out. He melted down in the playoffs, and because of that, I think mentally, when it comes to pitching, he never got his form back again. He was not the same pitcher. He couldn't do it again. He lost it. He fell out of the league. It's crazy.
Yes, I mean, this isn't my runner-up. This is just a different story. But if you guys remember Chuck Knobloch, who eventually got the yips.
Yeah, oh yeah.
He couldn't throw the ball from second base to the first baseman.
Those are true things that happen.
It's a real thing.
Yeah.
Like, he literally was a very good second baseman. He was with the Yankees. He was with the Twins. I really liked Chuck Knobloch when I was a kid. And then one day just got the yips. Couldn't throw the ball to first base anymore. And that was it. His career was done. I mean, not a one-year wonder because he had a very good career. But it is just funny how some guys, pro athletes, just lose it.
Yeah.
It happens.
It's crazy how you
Some of them it happens
you
a little sooner
overthink
than
a
others.
situation and
And you never get out of your own head. That's why a lot of guys, you don't know about it, but like they'll go to sports psychiatrists and stuff like that. Like, that's a real thing. My runner-up for baseball, though, is Chase Headley. For those of you that don't remember him, he was with the San Diego Padres way back in the day, and he was his one great year. He was a Gold Glove winner, Silver Slugger winner. He was 5th voted for MVP. He had 31 home runs, 115 RBI. Never in his career hit more than 15 home runs ever.
Jesus.
Except for that 1 year, and never had more than 64 RBI ever again. And it was honestly his last year in San Diego. They were ready to get rid of him, and he had to play for something. I forgot exactly what happened. I think somebody got hurt or whatever, so he ended up having to play and went on to have that great year. And then they let him go, and he never did shit again. His career was over. So look up Chase Headley. Pretty interesting story from not too long ago. I think it was like early 2000s he did all that.
That's awesome.
So he was my runner-up.
My runner-up was Dontrell Willis. Remember him from the Marlins?
I do.
The high kick leg pitcher.
I do. I thought he had a few good years.
He had 2 good years.
Okay.
First year was great. Second year was manageable. He was okay. But then after that, he couldn't put it together. Like, he couldn't get people out. He couldn't get batters out. They tried to move him to the bullpen, and he fell out of the league. He's currently 40 years old, and as of what I read the report today, he's still trying to try out for teams to be part of their bullpen just to come in and help, and he can never catch on. But he was a big hot topic for a couple
I thought he
years.
retired. I thought officially he announced it not long ago.
I thought I read an article today when I was looking this up that he has been trying out for maybe some minor league teams to get back into baseball.
I think we read the same article because I was looking up Dontrell Willis too.
Yeah.
I think that article is from like 2011 or something.
Was it that old?
I think
Maybe it was.
Was
It
it
could be
Bleacher
a-
Report by chance? If you
No,
remember
it
off the top of
wasn't.
your
It
head?
was CBS Sports.
Okay. Yeah, because one of the articles said he's still trying out for teams, but then I looked at the date and it was like
Was it out?
2014 or something.
But yeah, I mean, I remember Dontrell back in the
Oh,
day
of course,
because he
he
was
had
a big
that
talk.
late kick, big lefty.
Yeah, absolutely. But he had like 2 good years, and then from there, it went away. He moved to the back of the thing. He fell into the bullpen and out of the league, basically. So
It happens.
Yeah.
Similar. You had 2 lefty pitchers that just got the yips and couldn't do their job anymore.
Yeah, it happens.
Now we're on to college. My number one. I did NBA or football and basketball, so there's no runner-ups. I did 2 of each.
I
or
did
one
football
of each.
for both.
So my first one is Zach Wilson,
It's so recent.
quarterback of BYU. I know it is, but more so just looking at his career so far in the NBA.
You just
in
love
the
shitting
NFL.
on your Jets fans.
And
man.
yeah, I mean, it's fitting, but I'll let you go ahead and give your pick before I break it down.
It was tough. I mean, I'll talk about my runner-up, but it was Tim Tebow. Obviously, one of the biggest names in college football.
Sure.
And then he gets the NFL and just want.
Fucking Mormon Manziel behind me with this big stupid head.
I was going to pick the picture that had him the one year where he kind of like shaved his head around.
Oh, what, he had the Friar Tuck?
He had the Friar Tuck
Yeah.
look, but I figured I'd go with this one. He looks a little more badass here.
Zach Wilson played at BYU. He wasn't very good his first 2 years. Then his third and final year as quarterback, he did well enough to pull the wool over the Jets' eyes to where they traded up for the number 2 overall pick for him. They drafted him. He was really bad. They were actually better without him a couple of games. I don't think he's going to live up to the hype. I just don't think he's a good quarterback personally. I don't think he's playing at a team, at a college like BYU. You didn't play against good opponents. The hardest opponent he ever played against was Coastal Carolina, who at the time were ranked, and he struggled mightily against them. I think they ended up losing. So I just don't think he's a good NFL quarterback. I don't think his game translates. A lot of times when guys go to small schools, that's definitely something to take into consideration because the competition you're facing doesn't necessarily reflect your stats. And I think he pulled one on the Jets, and it couldn't happen to a better team. I hate him. So fuck Zach Wilson and fuck the Jets, and I think he sucks. And he was a one-year wonder in college.
I think Tim Tebow ranks up there with Reggie Bush as probably the two prolific college football players of all time, right?
Sure.
What they did in college, how big they were, how much they got watched. Tim Tebow got drafted, and I think everyone knew going into it that Tim Tebow's game was never going to translate to NFL football.
No, one of the worst draft picks of all time when, what's his face? Josh McDaniels traded up for him.
Yep.
Everybody I was at that draft. I remember everybody looking at each other like, what the fuck? Did they really just trade up for Tim Tebow? Everybody's like, he's getting fired. Like, we knew it was short-lived.
His biggest highlight, I think his only highlight, was the year that they beat the Steelers in the playoffs.
Touchdown to Demarius Thomas. Right. But again, it was a quick slant. It wasn't even
he just got the ball where it needed to go.
It wasn't
and
like
the receiver
he
did
fit
everything.
it in a tight window and did something immaculate. It was just, hey, this guy's open. Let me just throw it to him, and he's going to do the rest.
It just he never put it together.
Baker Mayfield-esque, if I may say.
The receiver does all the work.
Yep.
But yeah, no, nothing much of a career. I think he retired or he went away from football for a while. He came back last year or the year before as tried to set out for a tight end for Jacksonville.
He went to the Jets. He did nothing there. Tried baseball. He played with the Mets organization a couple of years of minor league ball, and then went to followed his boy Herb in Jacksonville. Tried to be a tight end. Got embarrassed in the first preseason game against the Browns. Whiffed on a bunch of blocks and got cut the next day.
He's good at doing commentary and talking about college football.
Sure,
like that's where he needs to be at. But yeah, this was one of my biggest bust coming into the NFL.
Yeah, he was a bum. All right, next up for me is I'm going to basketball side. Adam Morrison.
Gonzaga.
Adam Morrison out of Gonzaga from, 2006 March Madness fame. You guys might remember him. And then let Kyle get his.
The stash.
He has a good mustache.
Mine was Jamarcus Russell from LSU.
Okay.
That was, if you remember, great college quarterback.
Yeah.
Got drafted to the Raiders.
Number one overall pick. And
shit went downhill from there.
Was a fucking bum. That was one of the worst draft picks of all time. Honestly, it has to be. For me, though, Adam Morrison, I picked him because he became a household name during March Madness. He had a very good career at Gonzaga. Obviously, his third and final season there was his best. Took them deep into the March Madness bracket. I think he got them to like the Elite Eight or the Sweet 16, whatever.
Yeah.
They lost a heartbreaker. He's famous for the picture of him crying on the court when they lost. Brought a lot of energy, heart, and soul to the team, and got drafted third overall by, at the time, the Charlotte Bobcats, and was a complete bum.
Yeah, it never did anything.
Never did a fucking
NBA.
thing. He bounced around from team to team at the end of the bench, eventually to just leave right off into the sunset with nothing, no claim to fame.
Yeah, it was
very unfortunate because he was a guy that you when you heard that name, if you were a college basketball fan, you knew who Adam Morrison was, and he went to the NBA, top 5 pick, and just didn't do shit.
Yeah, I mean, same with Jamarcus Russell, the big, prolific college career, got drafted by the Raiders. Correct me if I'm wrong, but the famous story with him is when they were hiding stuff in the playbook to see if he actually read the playbook, right?
Yeah, so it's similar to the movie Draft Day, where the guy like tapes the $100 bill at the end of the playbook because he wants to see if he actually gets to it.
Right, and I would assume that's where
there were rumors that they did that with Jamarcus Russell,
and he never got to it.
Yeah, they would like fuck around on some of the pages and put like weird shit that if you saw it, you would be like, hey, why was that in there? Or like this and that. He never mentioned.
It just proved that he never.
Oh yeah, I saw it. I gotta do this and hit the X receiver, and they're like, okay, this guy's a fucking idiot.
Right. So he just fell out. I mean, he was horrible when playing games. He never knew how to read defenses very well. He ballooned the fuck up. I mean, I believe he got extremely chunky.
He was, if I'm not mistaken, he was one of the last draft classes that had the guaranteed contract for first round picks. They have since changed that and they have a capital or a cap on it. Yeah. But I think he was one of the last ones. Maybe him or Matt Stafford. I think the next year maybe Matt Stafford.
Yeah, it was just a bad one of the best. One of the worst draft picks. Yeah.
He tricked him. Al Davis took him and he just took the money and was lazy. That's honestly the end of it.
Al Davis likes to pay players and coaches who don't work for him anymore.
That was before he died. think his last draft pick was Darius Hayward-Bay, and then he kicked the bucket because he's like, I got to get the fuck out of here. All right, but that's going to do it for our one-year wonders. Next week, or 2 weeks from now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to do Cleveland. So get your picks ready, get them lined up. I know we'll be ready. I'm going to have a nice, good list. But with that being said, we're going to get into just the tip, everyone's favorite segment. And we're going to start, as always, with Tim Buck, too. Tim, please take it away.
And you know me, I've always got to come with the comedy. As being a comedian, that's what I do. I talk about comedy. I love comedy. It's something I will probably do forever, even if I'm not a comedian. But I am going to be a comedian forever.
You ever been paid to do a show yet?
I have.
You're a comedian, my friend. Don't
Yes.
talk yourself down. You're a fucking comedian.
Talk your shit. I appreciate you.
Absolutely.
But I'm definitely going to bring up another comedy set. You know, Father's Day is this weekend, and we have a Father's Day set, but also it is Juneteenth. So shout out to that. So it's Black Father's Day, as I like to call it. So the La Familia associated with Road to Zambia gives you Dad, We Got Jokes. There's a Father's Day special hosted by CV216. We are going to have a fire list of comedians, starting with Jen, who is another Red Line personality.
Saturday nights.
Saturday 8:30. I'm sorry.
Yep.
To 9:30. We got Weird with the Beard. Tyrone Gaines. That's my dog. We got. I haven't met her yet, but I believe her name is Kara Curtis. I haven't met her yet. Ebony Got Jokes. Ebony Timberlake. Queen Petty. Derek Lamont. I Holla. And myself, Tim Buck 2, doing on this card. I think this is going to be a great card. It's going to be special performances by Charles Reed and Dre the God. I think it's going to be a great show. It is $50 a ticket, but that includes a dinner and drinks. So it's going to be a great time.
I just noticed you put your head in your perfect.
Yeah, did you do that on purpose?
Yeah, I did.
That looks so good.
I did. I appreciate y'all.
Little talking head right there.
Right. I mean, if they want to see the picture, they can.
I like that. That's good.
But, yeah, I mean, I think this is going to be a great show. If you guys want some tickets, I got them. It's $50. Like I said, you get to choose chicken, fish, which is, I believe, salmon, or even vegan. So we are catering to everybody's appetite. I'm definitely going to have chicken with a side of salmon because I'm taking somebody else's food.
I mean, for $50, that's a hell of a deal in this day and age.
I think it's great. I think it's going to be great.
Dinner, drinks, and a show for $50. You can't pass that up,
you
dude.
cannot beat it. And it's a perfect Father's Day gift, perfect Father's Day dinner. You know, our fathers are very important. You know, some of us didn't have it, and some of them got a couple of them. So this just depends on what boat you fall in. I happen to fall in a couple of them. So, so definitely, if y'all want to come out and have a good time, hit me up, or you can call the number 216-471-0590 for your meal selection, table reservations, and yeah, we'll see y'all Sunday, man.
That's
beautiful.
awesome, man.
All right, now Kyle is up.
So back in the day, we all used to love, just watching the N1 mixtape, the Street Ballers, everything. I tried to emulate it myself. I'm sure you did back in the day.
Of course.
Between the legs,
Wasn't
on
very
the
good
back,
at it,
whatever.
but I tried.
But yeah, I mean, the N1 tour, it was big back in the 1999, 2000, 2001, 2002. So this 30 for 30 came out, I believe, it's like 2 weeks ago. I think it's been out now. I watched it last night, and it brought back a lot of memories. There's a lot of people I forgot about. I forgot about Skip to My Lou, Ray Ross. I forgot about Hot Sauce, who I thought I loved Hot Sauce more than anybody because just what he did with the basketball it's crazy to me to think that he could do that with the basketball. But it talks about the start of N1. It talks about how they promoted it. Back in the day, you go buy a pair of Dr. J's, you got a free mixtape with it. That's how they marketed it back in New York. Rutgers, all the courts in New York City, was big. They went on tour after the first volume dropped. They went on tour around the country. They picked up different basketball players. They even called out, there was a part of the story where they called out NBA players, and they wanted to challenge them to basketball. And there's a part of this show, and I'm sure you guys are going to watch it.
Absolutely.
They get to it. Baron Davis and I believe Shumpert's on there. So is Kyrie. Kyrie's on there too. And they're like, "Do you guys think that you ever would have gotten beat by these guys?" And literally every NBA player is like, "Absolutely not." but it was just funny to watch, just how the competition was there. But it's only an hour long. It's worth checking out if you love basketball. If you're around our age, I recommend, checking it out. It's worth a watch. Good show.
Absolutely. I can't wait to watch that. Kyle told me about it. I didn't even know it was out, so I look forward to that. My tip is another music-related one. I love music. I love new albums and shit like that. And one of my favorite bands, they're called The Story So Far. Their lead singer he has a side band called No Pressure, where their main band, The Story So Far, they can do pop punk, but they also kind of do some like slower songs. No Pressure is just straight up punk, pop punk. I went to their show, and it's just a small packed room. Everyone's crowd surfing, fucking jumping around. It's such a good, fun environment. They've put out a few EPs and singles, and they finally put out a full-length album. I say full-length, but with punk music, the songs are like 2 minutes apiece. So their 10-track album is like 23 minutes total. But that is a full-length by definition. And it's awesome. I love the work that this guy does. I think he's a really good lyricist. And like the way he puts songs together and different meanings and shit like that, he does a really good job.
I love the artwork.
So check
there.
it
It's
out.
cool.
No Pressure. Very old school. Looks like a NoFX album, kind of. Just like, fucking Microsoft Paint almost, but I love it. It's good music for me. It's shit that I like, so check it out if you like that kind of shit. If you're into pop punk, give it a listen. It's called No Pressure, and the album is called No Pressure.
Awesome.
That's going to do it for everybody here at Talking About Balls. And on behalf of us, we got no food, we got no jobs, and our pets' heads are falling off. Bye, everybody.